Peace.
Peace.
Cheers. It's us. It's I, NfrPeacocknubia.
And Helen Marie of GoHelenMariePR.
Yes, and we're sitting here. It's February 10th, in the manifestation hours, um, and we're just talking about just building on different things as we were sitting here, and we were building on one topic in particular about women always right. I get a lot of messages from women, and I'm sure she does get a lot of people coming to her with her wisdom, because Helen Marie is one of the most influential, positive, inspirational women that I personally know. And a beautiful person to talk to, indeed, because she's just filled with so much wisdom and extremely empathetic and sympathetic, and really has took time to really focus on not just knowing herself but mastering herself, and that helps her to be able to speak to others. And I think that's the way we reach other people, by actually really looking at ourselves and examining ourselves in our own menstrual mirror. And when you know yourself, you're able to know everybody else and know what's going on around you. And I get messages from women that are like, Nubia, you're always glowing, you're smiling, and you just look so goddess-like, and you're always talking about manifesting and stuff. How do I become a goddess?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's simple. Owning it.
Yeah. And like today or tonight, well, today actually, yeah, we decided we wanted to like kind of let you all come in on our cipher. NfrPeacocknubia, she does an awesome job of like just radiating beauty. And we were talking about the power of that, like the power of being in tune with your own femininity, like
Celebrating yourself.
celebrating it, and just being excited and totally in love with who you are and who you're becoming, and just taking time to beautify yourself and pamper yourself, and just be just like in bliss, by just being with you, and how that then like just exudes this goddess or godlike nature.
And as you celebrate yourself, others will celebrate you, and you'll start attracting other people who radiate that light, and then you guys can just bounce off each other and create more light and more beauty. And if you have negative people around you, or negative circumstances, or dark, ugly people, then that lets you know that you have to examine yourself. Because as within, what's going on within yourself, it's what's going on outside. As within, so without. So that's a good way to tell, how you're vibrating, by the people that you're attracting and the situations that you're attracting into your life. And it's never too late to just stop and switch it all up.
Yeah.
Like Lauryn Hill says, every day is another chance to get it right.
Yeah.
But I'm like, every moment.
Yeah.
You can
every
shift your
moment, every
consciousness
second,
and start over.
And it's so real what you said about how the outside reflects your inner, and it reminds me of the Four Agreements, the book, The Four Agreements.
I love that. Love Don
Yeah,
Miguel Ruiz.
that's such a what's his name?
Don
Again? How do you
Miguel
say it?
Ruiz.
Yeah, Don Miguel Ruiz, and he says don't take anything personal. So it's like while you're on your journey and you're experiencing certain things, even if you do happen to attract some not so great reflections, it's so beautiful even in that ugly experience, because it's just showing you something to work on within yourself, and that's a hard pill to swallow that most people don't.
But all of us have a
focus
higher
on.
and lower selves.
Yeah, and but it's beautiful because, like you said, it's always back to self-love. The more you love you, you attract people that are loving themselves too, and
you're able to embrace your quote unquote faults or flaws. Because like she was saying, a lot of people try to run from that aspect of themselves. They're like, they don't want to face that self that's like, okay, I am maybe weak at this, or maybe I am. And to know that is to immediately change it and say, okay, so then I'm going to work at that so I can be stronger at that. But just focusing on your flaws and being able to accept that will help you to, like I said, work on them. And what was I wanting to say? Like,
it just gives you focus on what to
it
work
helps
on.
You accept, yes, and it helps you to accept the imperfection and the quote unquote imperfections in others, and where you can love them holistically, unconditionally, and naturally, where you don't come from a place of judgment. Because anytime you're always condemning yourself or looking in the mirror and the first thing you see is negative instead of positive, or you putting yourself down the moment you have an idea of like, well, I can't do it now because I have this, I can't do it, I can't because this, you automatically start doing that to others. You automatically start judging them. You automatically start saying, oh, well, what does this person think they're doing? They can't do that,
Yeah.
and you automatically start looking for the negative instead of the positive. And then when you're speaking negative in other people's life, you're actually speaking negative into your own life. So
It's so empowering because what it does is it takes you from victim mode to victor mode. It's like instead of feeling like, oh, I have fake friends and I have all these people around me who are this and that and that, it's like you can look at the traits that you don't like, and just say, if at the very least you could say, well, that's how I don't want to be. And you can remember times maybe you used to be like that. You know what I mean? So it gives you a certain level of like understanding and compassion, and that adds to your beauty. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't understand. Like true beauty that resonates in a way that is magnetizing is not just the outfit you have on. It's not just your makeup. It's not just your outer appearance. It's the inner, so the more you're compassionate and loving and forgiving and all
towards
these different
yourself
things
and
towards
others.
yourself first and then others, then it exudes in this way that comes off as beautiful. And to me, like you said, when people are asking how do I tune into my goddess self or whatever, that is what it's about. It's the work that you're doing on yourself that gives you those attributes.
And some people, a lot of times, are always like, well, I can't be like that because I'm like this and this is just how I am. Or this is just my way of being. This is just me. And Master P said something that was profound. He was like, I realized I could not become who I was supposed to be by remaining who I was. So it's not, you can't say, and even Don Miguel Ruiz in one of his other books that I love so much, The Voice of Knowledge, one of my favorite books ever, 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 ever read it. Well, that's one of my favorite books ever, like probably like number one. It was powerful. And in that book, he was talking about, it's basically saying how everybody's a storyteller. But just to be more specific, he was saying that to say, yo, this is me. You're limiting yourself. That's why you look on my Facebook, I'm like, I'm comfortably undefinable. If I'm made in the image and likeness of the Most High, who can be so many things at one time, if I'm always changing and evolving and growing, then I am comfortably undefinable so that I can be whatever it is that I'm intended to be instead of making excuses of why I can't do this or why I can't be that or why I can't go this place or why I can't move there. Putting limitations basically on myself.
And it has to do with self-acceptance. It's like loving yourself no matter what phase you're in. Like, is a caterpillar not still a butterfly, even though it doesn't have the wings yet? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're in the ugly phase, but it's still beautiful. And I think that, like what you're saying, taps on that a lot. Like it's about self acceptance, like you might not have everything you want yet. You might not have the mate you want yet. You might not live in the place you want to live or have the money you want to have or do the things fully that you want to do. But what do you have, and focusing on that, like putting all your thought and energy into like really being grateful for what you do have, and just being present with it instead of sometimes it's easy to be thinking so much about what we want that we don't stay present in what we do have. We don't take the time to say, okay, I might be in this small apartment, but I have this apartment. What can I do with this? Well, I can decorate it. I can make this into a sacred place so that when I come home, I feel great. I feel the energy that makes me feel like recharged and rejuvenated. It's not a mansion yet, but my little apartment feels like heaven when I come home. It's like little things we can do with whatever we have in the present that then creates the future that we desire. And I think that's our thing. We have to constantly remind ourselves, like, what do I have now?
And a lot
That
of
is a
people,
tool.
right? A lot of people let that stop them from experiencing certain opportunities. Because I know a lot of men and women who will be like, okay, I want to go to this function or I want to go to this event, but all I have is guys are like, all I have is this pair of jeans and these shoes. or this girl's like, all I have is this one dress, or maybe they see me in this on Facebook in this outfit before, and I don't want to be seen in that same outfit or the pictures, and they miss out on those opportunities, or they may go in those outfits and feel inferior when they see other people with maybe something newer on or feel jazzier than what they look like. So then they shrink and then they hide in the back and they don't get out there and mingle, because what they realize is not necessarily what you have on, but how, like you said, how you exude it. Because you can see somebody in that expensive outfit that they paid all this money for, or whatever, all these colors and everything, but don't have the confidence. And it's all about your confidence, like you said, using what you do have, being grateful for what you do have, because that's what they're going to see at the end of the day. They're going to see that light. They're going to see your smile. They're going to see your radiance. They're going to see your energy. And that's what's going to draw them in, not what you're wearing.
Not what you're wearing. And I want to talk to, like,
or driving.
I wanted to talk to even the person that's wondering, how do I build my confidence? Because sometimes that's a question, like, how do I build my confidence? Well, it's as simple as, what is your favorite outfit that makes you feel just sexy, just ultra, just woman? I am woman. When you put it on, you feel like everybody in the world should think you're beautiful. What's that perfume you put on that when you smell it, you feel delicious? You feel like somebody should just lick you. You know what I mean? Like, what is that thing that makes you just get in love with you?
Right.
Like, do those things. Like, even if it's something that's simple, maybe your resources are tight right now, you can't go to the spa or whatever. What's that nail polish color you can go buy from the beauty supply store for less than $3? That when you look at your fingers, they pop. What are these little things you can do that makes you feel good? Like, these are some, to me, the best things to build your confidence. The facials, the do-it-yourself stuff you can do, even if you can't go get a fancy 50, 100, $500 facial. You can go get some brown sugar, you know what I'm saying? Some
Right.
honey, some olive oil. You can
Right.
come up with something that will make your face all of a sudden glow. And I think that's another big thing. Just finding the confidence. Sometimes you might not know how to do it, but you can learn. It's something that can be learned, even if you don't naturally feel.
Or
You
even just
know.
pull. And I think to add to that
Mhm.
beautiful statement that she made was building your confidence is pulling from deep, deep within, knowing that I am not this outfit, I am not this face, I am not this haircut, I am not this whatever. Knowing that I am this beautiful spirit that this body can't even hold, contain. I am love. When you own that, knowing that you are love, and that love can touch children, can touch old people, can touch people. I mean, that makes me emotional. Think about that. It can touch elders and can touch anybody, and you never know. And feeling that love and just moving as that love, you're gonna touch people, and you're gonna attract people and opportunities, because people are gonna want that love in their life, because we are starving. This universe, people are hungry for that love, for somebody to tell them, yo, I love you, I care, you are special, you are important, and your flaws and your past does not define you. You are not a victim. You are not impoverished spiritually. You may be hurting, and you may feel like you can't go on past this, but owning the fact that you are love will, and you're beautiful on the inside, and God, the creator, whatever you want to call it, makes no mistakes. So you look exactly the way you're supposed to look, and you're beautiful. And I read something that said the biggest lie is a lie of our imperfection.
That's Yeah, we were just talking about something similar today about how so many people have believed the hype that they're born imperfect.
Yeah, talk about that. That
And
was beautiful. She was talking about that earlier to me.
yeah, I think that's one of the biggest tragedies of this human culture or whatever, is people that have been programmed by different circumstances to think that they're born imperfect, think that they're born into, some type of sin that they have to somehow constantly prove, instead of just understanding you are perfect already. Like, and perfection doesn't mean that you do everything right all the time. It doesn't mean everything always goes the way you want it to go. It doesn't mean you always, do everything by the book. Perfect
Right.
just means that you, in alignment with everything else in the universe, is perfect. Meaning that your weaknesses, quote unquote, your flaws, quote unquote, are covered and sustained by something else outside of you at the same time as inside of you. So it's like it's a level of understanding that the creator of all things, I mean, like everything that we're connected to, in culmination, like all connected together as one, is perfect. You
Right.
know, and it's nothing you can do to change that. That's the thing. Like that's the key to me. Like you can work out, you can read books, you can do all these different things to try to fix your temple physically. You know, you could do different things to meditate and pray and all that stuff. But even outside of your works, even if you didn't do any of that, just you being who you are, your soul is perfect. And I think that's one of the hardest things sometimes for us to remember, you know, because of the programming. But when we do remember that, we constantly remind ourselves every day, I'm perfect, despite the things that say we're not perfect. It helps us to be compassionate with ourselves,
And
like,
others.
and
Yeah.
others. Because, I mean, first, I mean, it's hard to be compassionate people when you're not compassionate with yourself
Right.
first, you know, but just understanding that, like, I know you don't understand everything and you don't feel like you do everything right. But what's so beautiful is even when you don't, there is a force, there is a something that is so beautifully intertwined with your life and existence that covers and fills in the gap. And to me, it's the most humbling understanding because what it does is it takes away the pressure. It's like if you just try your best every single day, that's all you have to do. Just do your best. You know what I mean? It's really all you have to do. And your best might not be what you know, want it to be sometimes. Sometimes you want to do better. You're like, I could do better, I could do more. But as long as you just really try, like,
And to control your thoughts. Do your best at controlling your thoughts because you know your thoughts create your words, and words create actions, and
mm-hmm,
it's a ripple effect. You know,
mm-hmm,
it's basically do your best to control your thoughts. In any little moment, you know, something may happen. Don't be because nobody so hard on yourself because nobody is ever hard on us,
mm-hmm.
harder on us than
Than
us.
ourselves.
And
Yeah.
other people may forgive us, forget about it, everything, whatever
Mm-hmm,
the situation may be, and we ourselves will still hold on to. You may pray to the Most High or whatever. If you pray to a supreme being, yo, help me forgive. You may meditate, you
mm-hmm,
know, and meditate on I forgive myself, which is a good thing to do as well.
mm-hmm.
But just to really focus on your thoughts and
Mm-hmm.
say, I am powerful. I am beautiful.
Yeah.
I am manifesting this wonderful day. I am attracting this into my life. I am going to meet this person. I am going to attract this amount of money. And I guarantee you
Mm-hmm.
it works
And
every
what's
time.
so crazy is like ultimately we do know manifestation works. Like everybody kind of knows it, but they don't consciously always know it because, you know, it's funny what you just said about the power of your thoughts and words. It's such a big deal that deep down we know. Like for instance, you take
I don't think it's just me.
oh
I done
it's so
lifted my
funny.
grape juice to my lips like 10 times.
Shout out to the sangria. You take a woman that is in a relationship and she all of a sudden thinks her mate is cheating on her, right?
Mm,
And she's like, oh, he's cheating on me. I know he's cheating on me, you know. And she's looking for something. She's checking his phone. She's checking his email, all this different stuff. And then she finds something, and now all of a sudden she's surprised, like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Well, she didn't realize how she was speaking it. She was thinking it. She was
mm-hmm,
looking for it. Now it's manifested. Something has manifested. It might not even be what she thinks it is. But
mm-hmm,
now, because she put that seed out there, either maybe he finally did do something or she created it. And it's
mm-hmm.
like a lot of times we do this stuff constantly in a negative way. We don't
Definitely.
understand the power of if we did it, if we focus on doing it in a positive way. Like, what if instead of you focusing on worrying that somebody's doing something wrong to you, you focus on expecting everybody to come bless you. Like I expect
Mm-hmm.
today somebody to send me a check. I expect
It
somebody to want
works.
to send me some business. I expect somebody to want to give me an opportunity to perform or whatever it is you do, you know? And I think that's so powerful because we're programmed to expect the worst. We're programmed to
Mm-hmm.
expect somebody to always cheat us or do us wrong or whatever. You know, we're told lock your doors, you know,
Mm-hmm.
lock your car doors, you
Mm-hmm.
know, carry a gun, you know,
Mm-hmm.
do all these different things
Live
to
in
protect
fear.
yourself, you know. But in reality, you know, there are people who don't live in any of those type of things and nothing happens to them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they live in they don't lock their doors, they don't carry guns, they don't do and nothing happens. So you have to ask yourself like what's the difference between them
Mm-hmm.
and a person, you know, that does all this stuff and then they still get robbed. They lock the door, somebody busts it down. You know what I mean? They carry a gun, somebody still, you know, and it has to really do a lot of times with the thoughts, the expectation, the words that we're putting out there. And I
Mm-hmm.
just think I'm glad you brought that up because even when it back to being a goddess, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there is so much power in our words, especially as women. We can speak life or death. There's power of life and death in the tongue. So we can give life to ourselves and the people connect to us, or we can give death. And so I think that one of the main things we have to really understand is that if we want to change anything, the thought is one of the first steps we have to focus on. Like, think about the things we want. Think about the things we want to see happen, and then when we're speaking, like, speak about it. And it's really important to surround yourself with people who agree with you, like, surround yourself with people who support your words. If you say, this year I want to make $1,000,000, no, this year I'm going to make $1,000,000. Surround yourself with people who say, you know what, me too. Like,
how
how
can
can
we
we
do
make
this
it
together?
together?
See how that worked that fast?
Yeah, that
Exactly.
wasn't planned. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's power in it, versus being around, oh, how you gonna do that?
Or
And
you can't do that, or you shouldn't
well,
do this.
exactly,
And usually those are people who are not doing it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They say the heroic are uncommon. And it is such a true thing. You do not want dream killers, dream snatchers. You have to be careful who you share your dreams with. It's very important when you move. There's not a million goddesses for a reason, perhaps. You have some queens.
Mm-hmm.
You have some women.
You have some other names.
you know, but and listen, and to really define goddess, I think for me to define goddess is just basically saying I'm made in the image and likeness of the Most High. You can use the word God. I'm the feminine form of that supreme power. Or I want to say feminine form because femininity, I think all of us are supposed to have feminine and masculine energies within us to balance us. It's all about balance. But I would say God is, for me to be made in the image and likeness of the Most High, to have those creative abilities and power, to own that. When you own that power is and create from that power, you are being a goddess. You're creating.
You're not
All of this.
waiting
We're
anymore.
creating. Yes, we're creating all of this. Where when we speak with our mouths, when we write things, what we want, it's like throwing it into a gumbo pot and saying we're gonna add this ingredient into our life. Our life is this big gumbo pot. We're gonna add this, and we're gonna add this, and we want this. And then our life is that big beautiful gumbo pot that we're creating.
It's going from hoping and wishing to intentional.
Intention,
Instead of
setting your
saying, oh, I
intentions.
hope this year that this happens, I hope, and then waiting for
Right.
something to happen out
Right.
there to come into your life. It's like, no, let's
This is
pull it
gonna happen
towards us. Let's draw it
without a
towards
doubt.
us. Let's expect it to happen. Illustration I was bringing up earlier is like, you have to be pregnant with your dreams. You have to be pregnant with your goals, whatever it is. And just like if you were pregnant with a baby and a doctor told you were pregnant and you knew you were expecting, and you would get the room ready, and you would tell your friends, and if if you knew you were having a boy, you start buying blue things maybe, or pink things for a girl, and you're eating differently, and you're doing all these different things because you expect the baby to come in 9 months. Like, if we do that with physical life, how much more so should we do that with our life, like, as a whole? And I mean,
and that's a great point because that's
yeah.
a good tool to use. In the movie The Secret, they talk about, visualizing wrapping your hands around the steering wheel of that car and driving that car. But how much more powerful would it be to, like, for example, if you want to buy a house, to say, you know what, you're out somewhere at a store or wherever, you see a painting, you said, I would like to put that in the house one day. I can see that on my wall. What if you had the money and you buy that painting and people say, oh, why'd you buy that painting? Where are you going to put it? Oh, I'm going to put it in my new house. What new house? Oh, the new house I'm about to get. Where? Oh, don't worry about it. I'm about to get that house. You're automatically moving in that motion to set. Or if you say, I need a new suitcase. I'm gonna buy a suitcase. Or you buy a swimsuit. You say, oh, I'm buying this bikini, this swimsuit. Oh, you gonna wear that? You gonna fit that? Yeah, I'm gonna fit in that swimsuit. And I'm gonna wear. Where are you wearing it to? I'm gonna wear it to when I go on my vacation to Hawaii this summer. You got your ticket? No, not yet. But don't worry about that. I'm going to Hawaii this summer. That's a good way of manifestation tools because it's reinforcing that intention.
Yeah. And I mean, I think a great reference to this is hip hop. For instance, like, you take a typical rapper, they might not have that much money. They just came out on the scene, but what do they talk about? I'm balling. I have all these houses. I have all these clothes. I have all this money. Well, what they're doing is a form of magic. What they're doing is a form of intentionally co-creating what they want. Because now what happens? Okay, first they're speaking it, right? They lay down the track, they write the lyrics, they record it, whatever. Now, not only are they speaking it, they have their listeners speaking it. Now they got thousands of people up here talking about, oh, he's balling out of control, he's rich, he's all this. And he wasn't at first when he first wrote the song. When he first wrote the song, he was just an average, rapper that just came on the scene. But a million, 2 million, 10 million hits later, now he is. Now, why is he all of a sudden? Well, look at what he just did. Not only did he speak it, he got other people to speak it. He programmed the thought into their minds so that even if they didn't realize that, okay, so and so is not really wealthy yet. I mean, he just came on the scene. He's not really wealthy. By them speaking it and they're in tune with the music and all that, connecting to his dream, his vision, they help co-create it. So my thing is that's just a rapper, right? But you can do this in your everyday life. Just being clear about what you want, talking about it emphatically, like as if there's no doubt. And if you feel the doubt, you gotta like psych yourself out until the doubt goes away, where you really see yourself doing the things you want to do, having the things you want to have, being the person you
On
want
a
to be, a
continuous
continual
basis.
basis, and asking, not even having to ask really, but just surrounding yourself with people that support it, so that if you say you're going to Hawaii, I'm like, really? When you going? I want to go too. Let me know when you go. People that automatically don't doubt you, and the naysayers, you keep them far away because those people can take your dream and your vision,
Right.
Yeah. Intentional living.
Intentional living. Invoking it. Some people like to use that word, invoke, and use the power invoking. But, and I totally stand in agreement with all that Helen Marie has said. I've seen it manifest in her life. She's seen it manifest in mine. And it is unbelievable the way I have people, y'all, you guys see me move around. You see Helen move around. And sometimes it's almost as if I live on a jet plane. And people swear, Nubia must have millions of dollars. I move. It doesn't always take money to make money. Sometimes it just takes that intention, saying this is what I want to happen, and you'll attract people and circumstances and situations and business opportunities that will support and come in agreement with making that happen.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, just having, like I said, you're earlier when we were talking earlier, you're being rewarded for trusting yourself. You're being rewarded for trusting that the creator that created you, that supports you, that keeps you breathing and waking you up every day, that energy, that life force, that love is going to support you in everything.
Yes.
So anytime you worry, anytime you doubt, anytime you fear, anytime you feel confused, anytime you feel lost, those are signs that's showing you that you're in your lower self. And when you find yourself in your lower self, it is the most important, imperative thing to do is to cleanse yourself, meditate, pray, and stop yourself and do whatever it takes. Maybe playing some good happy music, like I do. I play some happy music. I take a shower. I rejuvenate myself. I feel beautiful. Like I was telling her, I was dancing in the shower. And raise your vibration to your higher self, because in that higher self is when you're your higher self is when you attract those opportunities and those situations that you want to help better your life and the lives of others around you, because you're going to block yourself every time. And it's not what you do every now and again, but what you do consistently. But like I have that video that I'm talking about, persistent, about being consistent. You're not going to ever get anything accomplished if you do it every now and again. You're not going to manifest anything. You can't one day say, okay, today or this hour I'm going to manifest this. Like people who may go to church that Sunday morning and they're like, okay, yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, I'm feeling empowered. Yeah. And then Sunday evening or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they completely forget about it and they don't live it and they don't apply it. It's just you have to do it every single day to where it becomes a habitual way of being, and then it becomes you. And then it becomes your life. And then you become one of those people who live in the magic of life.
Yeah.
Where it's just
in the magical life.
It's
I like that.
unbelievable when you live in the magical life.
And it's
you almost want to doubt yourself. When everything, you start attracting everything, you're like, wait, is this real? Is this real? And it's real. You almost want to stop yourself sometimes. But you just it's a beautiful place to be. What were you saying? It was almost like what?
Oh, I was just thinking about, like, it's all about, to quote Bruce Lee, about being water, because um like Nubia said, we've had some awesome opportunities to travel and move about the country a lot, and people might say, well, how do you do that? And I think that another variable is the fact that you have to be so open. Like, you have your plan. Everybody talks about planning, and I'm an advocate for planning. I have plans, like written down on paper, in my journals, my notebooks, typed up, all that good stuff. But at the same time, you have to be flexible so that maybe your plan is great, maybe it's awesome, maybe it is beautifully, strategically planned, right? But the universe is so perfect that sometimes your plan isn't as perfect, and you have to be able to move when you're led to. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
able to be flexible, to bend, and to me, I think that's one of the other secrets, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote, of how to like live just this amazing life, because sometimes your plan isn't the plan,
Mm-hmm.
and you get thrown a curveball, and when the curveball comes, though, you got to catch it. You got to ride the
Right.
wave, and rolling with the homeless. I said, throw that. Shout out to Clueless. But, you have to ride the wave, because that is when you'll get the opportunities that you couldn't have pre-planned. You couldn't have possibly foresaw this, and I think that one of the keys to being a goddess, in quotes, is just like, yeah, have your plans, your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, your 30, your 90, your vision board, all that good stuff. But when an opportunity comes that presents itself, that gives you a chance to maybe go to another city, go to another country, start a new business, have a new partnership, whatever it might be, you know, if it seems and feels good to you,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? If it's in alignment with what you ultimately want to pursue and obtain, you know, take that risk, like, even if it goes against your plan. Sometimes you have to go against your plan to be in alignment with the plan, and you'll
Mm-hmm.
get in alignment with your plan, but maybe you just have to take a slight little shift, that you didn't foresee. And to me, that's where the magic happens, because now you're kind of blind because it's not going with your plan, so you don't really know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes, if you just trust, back to the trust, it's like that is where the magic is, because now you're not living your life based off of rules that
Mm-hmm.
you feel like this is the only way. No, now it's like the rules you're relying on are the rules of the universe, like
Mm-hmm.
universal law. Like, okay, if I keep putting out this love, I keep putting out this trust, I have to receive it back, and things such as that. So I think that's another big thing, like, just be water, go with the flow, and sometimes it's so hard because of our society. Everything tells us we should be, a certain way. But in reality, I mean, you look at the people that don't have clocks, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, they're not out of tune. They still
Mm-hmm.
stay in tune with life. They don't have watches, though. You look at people that don't have a 9 to 5 situation, maybe, and they don't have somebody telling them what to do, but they still, like, they create so much, actually sometimes more,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not living within time. They
Mm-hmm.
create their own time.
Mm-hmm.
They manipulate
I
time at
do
their
that.
own will. We do that, and so I just be water, what I mean? Like, and sometimes it doesn't look normal. It doesn't look logical to people when you live your life based off of those principles. Like, somebody will
Mm-hmm.
say, by this age you should do this, by this age
Mm-hmm.
you should have this, by this age you should, things like that. People that think linear instead of
Mm-hmm.
spatial, But I just like to encourage people that are programmed to not think like that, to know you're okay, like you're on point. Like, even if, like, a lot of people around you don't get you,
Right.
you get you,
And
and find
never
people
let
that get
anybody
you.
define you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can define you. Nobody can tell you who you are, what you're capable of. And don't also be very careful other people say, I know you. Nobody knows you like you know you. No one, because you're always changing and evolving. So define yourself if you choose to for yourself, but I really wouldn't even be in a rush to define yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I would be in a rush to say, okay, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. Um, this is what's going to happen. But just like I said, never let being God is never letting anybody tell you who you are and what you can and cannot do, what you're capable of, and putting limitations and barriers on you because they perhaps didn't do it that way, if they did it at all. you know
Mm-hmm.
Follow your womb, follow your gut, follow your mind. Fellas, listen to your sisters. Sisters, listen to your fellas. But listen to those people who actually I guess I'll use the word belief for lack of a better word. Believe in you. Believe in your vision. Like she said, supportive of your vision,
Mm-hmm.
supportive of your goals and your dreams, and are also willing to help you in any way they can to
Mm-hmm.
get there. Because if each one, not just teach one, but if each one help the other one,
Mm-hmm.
like I may know somebody, you need to know, you may know somebody, I need to know, that person may know somebody, we will get along much faster. And it is going to take some resources sometimes, it is going to take that cash flow, and the only way we're going to be able to obtain that and help each other is if we're all supportive of each other's businesses, ideas, and dreams and goals,
Mm-hmm.
because the revolution, quote unquote, is not going to happen without two things. It's not going to happen, well, three things. It's not going to happen without loving ourselves and each other. It's not going to happen without us helping support each other,
Mm-hmm.
and without the resources, to even
Manifest
to
it, to create it.
manifest everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, you
I think
know,
that's a big topic that sometimes isn't focused on enough in our community is wealth building. And I'm not talking about get rich quick schemes. I'm not talking about, hustling to make some money here and there. I mean wealth building. And you look at certain ethnic groups, that really, really have mastered that understanding. The power of like your dollar, the power of where are you spending your energy, because that's what money is, an extension of your energy, and I mean, this is all tying into how to be a goddess because there's power, there's empowerment in spending. Like you feel powerful, right, when you pay a bill off, right? Because now there's one less bill collector calling you, right? You feel powerful when you get to buy yourself something that will now be an asset to your closet space or whatever, to your household or whatever. But deciding where you spend is where the goddess factor comes in. Like you get to choose where you spend your money. So just even making that a conscious effort. Like if you know somebody that creates the things you use to spend money on lotions and hair things and out clothes and things like that. A goddess wants to support home first. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? She wants to say, you see what I'm arrayed with? Like I get this from my friend. I get this from,
mm-hmm,
because it's empowering to her as well. Why? Because it's an extension of her. You
mm-hmm,
know what I mean? And I think that one of the most empowering things we can do is support our cipher, our
mm-hmm,
people, our friends that create
definitely,
things, because what it does is it not just makes us look beautiful because we have on the thing, or makes our house look beautiful because we're showcasing it on our shelf, but now we are supporting somebody else. We're empowering that person by sending them other supporters and clientele and things like that. So to me, what we're trying to convey the most is just finding your power, you know what I'm saying, in your everyday life. Like things that seem so little, we're trying to show you how they're really big. You know what I mean? It might seem like that's no big deal. Oh, going to the mall instead of supporting somebody I know who makes similar things, that's not a big deal.
mm-hmm,
But it really is a big deal, because instead of you spending all your money on commercial products that maybe have no concern for you and yours, if you redirect your energy and your money, you know what I mean? Now you can connect to something that's more connected to who you are,
mm-hmm,
so that makes you feel good, and it teaches lessons to your children. It teaches lessons to the people standing next to you to say, wow, she could have just spent that $50, on eBay or whatever, but instead she's going to her PayPal to, spend it at one of her friends. I should do that too. It teaches people. And to me, that's what being a goddess is. You don't live your life just for yourself anymore.
right,
You live your life for others. You live your life for something more than just your own personal gain. So it's like, okay, if I had this amount of money today that I'm willing to spend, before I just automatically do what I'm programmed to do, which is to support whoever bought the most expensive commercial on TV, or whoever just put a pop-up ad on my screen. Instead of me just supporting somebody that I'm programmed to support, who can I help
mm-hmm,
that at the same time benefits me? It's not like I'm gonna spend my money on something I don't like,
mm-hmm,
but that can help somebody that I'm closely connected to and I know where the money is going to. I mean, I think that that's a big factor that takes only a few seconds, but those little adjustments in your lifestyle will just empower you on so many levels, that also once again gets you back in tune, if you're not already, with your goddess self, because that's God, that's love, that's love. Like, I mean, I always feel great when I can support somebody
mm-hmm,
that I know. Like, Shout out to Camille Peace, right? Peace
Yes.
Images, you know. When I buy jewelry from her, I feel great because it's like I'm wearing fly jewelry. I know it's a conversation piece. I know anytime I wear it, somebody's gonna ask me where I got it
She
from,
has the most
you know.
beautiful stuff.
And I know
Yes.
I'm supporting somebody I
Yes.
actually know.
Right.
I know
And Majade, check out Majade's dope, beautiful
oh, I've seen
stones.
her work too.
Jade,
Yes, the
it's
copper and the
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
she used so many beautiful stones
Mm-hmm.
that could be amulets,
Mm-hmm.
for you as well.
So I mean, you can't do that about Ralph Lauren and Calvin Klein. It's
Right.
like, and we're not hating on them, but we're just saying, these are ways to like just activate the goddess in you and
Hmm.
support, and it's all about the love. Like,
It's all about
it's all
love,
about the
and
love.
and and God is there should be no ego that comes with the term goddess or God. You should being able to love from that place should be a place of, like as I said, love. It should come from your higher self. Being God is being humble, being is showing humility, is showing virtuousness through that humility, and not saying, oh well, because I know this, I'm up here and you're down here, or because I wear this, or I read this book, or I hang out with this person, or I go to this spot, or I've been here. No, goddess is always about, being humble and being able to see yourself in someone else.
Mm.
And that's why you see a lot of women like you and Aki, and it's a long list of beautiful goddesses that I know. I can go on and on and on, so I don't want to start naming names, and I know you can go
Right.
on and on, that we build with on an everyday basis, or on a frequent basis I should say, that we are so quick to compliment each other
Mm.
on
Mm.
everything,
That's a great conversation piece right there.
because we would see ourselves
Mm-hmm.
reflected in each other. Anytime somebody's like, oh, Nubia, you look beautiful, I'm like, sis, reflections,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Because
Yes.
that's all it is. We're just looking in the mirrors,
Mm-hmm.
and it's reminding us of how beautiful we are every time we see someone else shining,
Yeah.
and so it's really about coming from that humble place. That is what really brings out the inner goddess in you.
Mm-hmm. And it just makes you magnetize it more. I mean, I think
Oh,
a lot of
definitely.
us remember going to the club or whatever, and you have the women that are looking you up and down, and they're like, "Oh, she thinks she's cute," and all this other stuff.
She thinks she all that.
But it's like the more you love on you and the more you love
Some
outwardly,
people do it.
some people do it, but you start to get away from those type of people and you start attracting the type of people like what you're saying, where everywhere. I mean, I love when I run into my sisters. You know what I mean? We're like from the outside looking in, I'm sure people are like, oh my God, like hippies, we're hugging each other and we're just so happy to see each
Hmm.
other and we're coming each other, like you said. I mean, and that's what you want. You want your life to be surrounded by so much beauty that it resembles heaven on earth. You know what I mean? It's your heaven on earth. Like your life can be that, and it's all about you. And that is the key. Like it's all about you focusing on working on you. The
Hmm.
more you work on you, you attract people that are also working on themselves. So then together, y'all working on each other and you're sharpening each other up at the same time,
Excuse me.
Bless you. Oh,
Excuse
yes,
me.
still bless you, And I mean, that's the key. It's like, how can I build my kingdom on earth, Well, at first I work on my inner side and my inside, I constantly work on that. And then when I see the beauty all around me, I appreciate it. I take time out of my day
Hmm.
to appreciate it, to appreciate the beauty in somebody else or something
Celebrate it.
else. Celebrate it, witness it, acknowledge it, And then what it does is, I mean, it gives the universe a reason to give you more. It's like,
That
oh,
works with
she's
love.
grateful
That
for
works
it.
with loving relationships. I was talking about
Mm-hmm.
that to my girl Layla, and when you see other people, like I will do that when I see like, stick man in a fire. I'll see my girl Layla and Supernova, or I see like these beautiful happy couples, or just anybody's love. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if it's Beyonce and Jay-Z, even though I don't know what's going on in their personal life. Celebrating their love attracts that more of that particular type of love in your life, because
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of energy you're focusing on. So
Yeah.
whatever kind of energy period that you're focusing on is
Yeah.
going to be exactly what you're going to attract
Mm-hmm.
into your life. So it's very careful to be mindful of the music that you listen to. Some people say, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I like it just because of the beat."
Yeah.
But it's still being subconsciously programmed
Mm-hmm.
into you. The more you listen, the more you're saying those words, it becomes a mantra. You're chanting, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you're speaking, you're invoking and you're setting intentions on what it is that you want. Um, by what you celebrate, by what
Mm-hmm.
you listen to, by what you, especially when you dancing and you moving your body, and you're sending all that energy and those vibrations or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. All that matters, you know.
It all matters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful what you're bringing up. It's about just painting the picture. It's like making your house, making everything around you as much as you possibly can control, making it exude what you want to create. If you don't have any positive, like you said, relationships that you see, like maybe in your household or maybe in your even neighborhood, or maybe none of your friends have relationships that you admire, go find those images. Do whatever you need to do. I don't care if you need to plaster them on your walls, pictures of beautiful couples loving each other. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Whatever you have to do to change what you see and what you
Mm-hmm.
hear. Like that's so true. It's all about just projecting and taking in what you want,
Mm-hmm.
feeding yourself with what you want,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, to a degree, we can say, oh, we don't have any control over certain things. Yes, because there's certain entities that control, the media and different things like that. But at the same time, we have unlimited control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can really do so much to block out the stuff you don't want to focus on and just project. Like one of the things that Nubia reminded me about this weekend is she had on HGTV, and I told her, I said, man, I need to have a big screen TV in my house, just constantly showing HGTV, specifically when they're focusing on like these dream houses, like these water houses, these houses that are constructed
I
out
love
of like,
water.
oh my goodness, like these houses that are from like a fairy tale. Like, how did they think of this?
Right.
I mean, because if you're constantly seeing that subconsciously, because after a while you might not pay attention, you might be talking or
Going to
cooking
sleep,
or
taking a
doing
nap.
whatever, but if you're programming your mind to always be visualizing and thinking about and focusing on what you want, then
It's
first of
gonna
all, it's
manifest.
possible all of a sudden. Maybe because sometimes it's kind of hard to make yourself think certain things are possible, right? Especially if you come from a certain situation. So you have to reprogram your mind.
Excuse me.
You have to go from being like, okay, I only have this amount of money, so this is the kind of house I can logically, rationally afford, to all of a sudden seeing so many images of what you really want that your mind expands to the capacity of saying, you know what? Not only do I want that, but I'm going to figure something out to be able to get that. I'm going to be open to the possibility that I can even have it now.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's the first step. You got to even just be open to the possibility. So it's like things you can do to reprogram your mind. That's why I'm at this point in my life where I feel like there's no circumstance you can't overcome.
Oh,
There's
that's
no
true.
past behavior or past situation that says, oh, well, you can't have this, you can't do this because you grew up this certain way or in this certain neighborhood or with a certain income or whatever. Like, no, because you can reprogram anything. We're like computer drives in a way. We
Mm-hmm.
can reprogram everything and recreate ourselves. And that's when the beauty of being human versus an animal, maybe, or a plant. You know what I mean? We can literally reinvent ourselves and recreate or co-create what we truly truly desire, and that's what the goddess is about, like being intentional. No victims, no martyrs, like, no.
Right.
you know
I want to close this segment.
mm-hmm.
Um, I guess we could say the part one of this perhaps series of just manifesting and healing and releasing, because as you're creating what you want your life to be, who you want yourself to be, you also must release and detach from all those pre-programmed ideas that you had in your head that were unhealthy for you, or releasing any negative situations or people or unforgiveness or bags, not being a bag lady, even from a men too, in order to have those things, because sometimes you can't put anything in your hands if your hands are full. You know what I mean? So you have to release that. So we're probably going to go into the next segment talking about, just releasing and
mm,
letting go of, the past pains, past hurts, how to get out of victimhood and
yeah.
really be able to manifest the life you want to live. I want to thank you for joining us for part one.
Yay.
Cheers, like they say,
Cheers.
to you, to manifesting
Mm,
everything that you want in your life, and to really. So as we're bringing in spring, oh,
yeah.
want to do a plug? Be sure. Blog Talk Radio.
blogtalkradio.com. Blog www.blogtalk.com. The link will be right there. /GoHelenMarie, March 20th, which is spring equinox, also the 3-year anniversary of GoHelenMarie. I'll be releasing a new series called The Audacity of You, which is all about you being audacious enough, bold enough, fearless enough to follow your dreams, pursue your passions, face your fears, and just be the wonderful, beautiful you that you were created to be. And I'm so excited about it. I'm ready. And this was beautiful for us. We hope you enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward for
Yes.
more.
So many, many things happening, so many things to come,
Yes.
so many fun surprises this year that we have for you guys, so many different events coming up that you probably would love to be a part of.
Make sure you check out NfrNubia's cooking classes that she's been putting up her little.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing something where I'm not just going to be cooking, but I'm all about being healthy, showing you how to pick your vegetables, your fruit. We're going to be having cookouts as the spring and summer comes in here in Houston, Texas, where we are right now,
Houston.
and New York City, Miami, and other places coming to a city near you. So definitely stay tuned, and we will be with you soon. Okay?
Much love.
Much love.
Peace.
Peace.